Hello and welcome back to our Aeon's End Legacy of Gravehold strategic campaign playthrough. We're into game number 9, which might be the finale. We'll have to see how things go. But when last we left off, we had a pretty epic battle against the Paradox of Myth, kind of closing out the Gravehold side of the story. Managed to sneak that one out. As I put up some notes in the video, I realized I made a pretty significant mistake with resolving when the ability flips over, whether villagers are coming into play or Gravehold's taking damage. In the end, I don't think it made that big a difference. Sometimes things came in when they shouldn't have, other times they wouldn't have. I kind of watched through, kept track of it. I think the outcome probably would have been the same. So either way, it says in the rule book, if you make a mistake, just play it as you did. So that's what happened. We got a win, pulled it out, and so now we are moving towards, like I said, what might be the final battle. Really interesting story stuff happened. You can see I've got some stuff laid out here already. And a big epic showdown between all of the mages of Gravehold and all of the mages as Azer as they were going into Gravehold to confront Brama. And at that point, there was a lot of narrative where choices we've made before, whether or not a mage was severed, whether or not how many fire tokens there were, choices, whether or not we put a specific thing on the map, like the Sentinel or the Ruins. And a whole bunch of mages had an opportunity to switch allegiances and sides. And when all the dust settled, we had Q has decided that Brahma's way makes more sense and has defected over to her side, but we had a much larger defection towards Azer. Nook, Malistar, Kadir, and Inko have all taken the side of Jana. So we put a sticker on them showing they've switched affiliations. And at that point, then had to make a decision. Would I proceed? Which side would I want to take? And of course, we started out with Azer, so plus they had more mages on their side at that point. So I went ahead, I chose Azer, and we are going to be facing down against Brama. Having chosen Azer, put away all the new Gravehold stuff, take the Azer stuff back out, and have to choose my mages. Also had experience to spend, 12 from the last game, but again, I realized I had shorted myself 4 in the beginning. I misread it as gain an extra 2 experience, and it was 2 per player. So I had 16 experience to spend. I spent 12 on an upgrade to Azer. At the start of each player's first turn of the game, that player gains a card that costs 3 or less from the supply pile, and I have some pretty cool stuff planned that I'm going to do with that. I figured that out. That cost 12 XP, and then I spent the remaining 4 XP on this guy. I just upgraded a crystal, which is you can either gain 1 or gain 1 charge. So it's not huge, but it's kind of effectively you're gaining an extra Aether that can be used to gain a charge, because you're losing the 1 you would have spent. But that should accelerate things a bit, especially since I plan on playing some mages that rely pretty heavily on charges. Specifically Zaxos, who we'll get into. So those are the 2 upgrades I've took, and that card is going to go. I've decided I'm going to play Zaxos, Jan, Magda, 2 mages I haven't played yet, and thematically, since I don't have Gianna in this fight, she's not an option. Although I kind of do have Gianna, because there's these cards, which I'll get into, that represent her influence on the battle. But I figured the next best thing, let's get her son Takrin in, kind of representing the Azer faction. So, let me finish getting everything set up, and we'll go over the supply piles, we'll go over some of the boss mechanics, and we'll get going. Okay, so we've got everything set up and ready to go. Let's just run through, first of all, for the mages. So Zaxos, his ability is Expand Potential. Activate during your main phase. Look at and gain the top card of your Reckoning deck, then place it on top of your deck, or return 1 Reckoning card from your discard pile to your hand. And the Reckoning deck looks like this. It's a series of 8 cost spells, all pretty powerful. So that's going to be shuffled up, and we're going to be randomly accessing those. I also gave Zaxos some upgrades. He's got the level 2 breach, which again is multiple spells can be prepped to it, so I don't necessarily have to, open all his stuff up to deal with this. I, of course, gave him that new crystal for the extra charge, and also the spark that, when cast, gives him a charge. So, really want to drive him, see if we can get a lot of those charges. It costs 6 to activate his ability, but pretty powerful. Takran, of course, he's got those breaches. The 3 breach is the one that gives you additional Aether based on the Nemesis level, and the 4th one is extra damage based on the Nemesis level, and his ability again is to 3 times lets any player focus any player's breach, or an ally preps a spell to an open or closed breach. And then the other new one we've got, and I gave him the crystal that produces 1 extra. It's fully boosted. I'm not playing with the crystal that boosts something because I don't have anything that needs to be boosted. So no need to have that or worry about that. Yan Magda, her special ability, Devour Magic. Cast a spell prep to an open enchanted breach. So that's her 3 and 4 breach. They don't do extra damage, but they're easier to focus, right? You can see they can be, here, let me show you. They're actually a lot easier to focus. They can be opened from this spot at 4 and focused for 2. The reason for that is, so cast a spell prep to an open enchanted breach 3 times, then reset that breach to a starting position. And that's her special ability, and then I gave her the crystal that when you may place the next relic you gain this turn into your hand. So you're going to be able to do some interesting stuff there. So those are mages. Again, we are facing off against Brama, who looks like this, and or on this side, she's got 70 life. And so for setup, this was pretty interesting. So there is this mage attack deck, which has every single mage in it, other than Brama and Gianna. And you only take the unsevered ones of the faction you're fighting. So in this case, there are only 5 unsevered mages working on Brahma's side. I don't know if that feud is going to be to our benefit or not. These are all attack cards. So I didn't take a close look at them, but these will represent the other mages jumping in on the fight. So that's a cool mechanic. That is her unleash ability: draw a mage attack card and resolve it, then place it in the mage attack discard pile. Additional rules: when the mage attack deck is empty, shuffle the mage attack discard pile face down to form a new mage attack deck. So I think, it just looks like the advantage of there being fewer, it's going to be a bit more predictable. I'm only going to have 5 different effects to worry about, as opposed to 12 or however many it would have been if I were going up against Azer, which I may do. I may just try it from the other side when the campaign is over. But for now, we're going to focus on moving the campaign forward. The last bit of business is I have this deck which represents Jana's influence. When Gravehold is down to 20, 15, 10, or 5, I get to play this card. Did not look at them, don't know what they do. Last but not least, I'll just quickly run through the piles. For the 3, I went for the Starglass, which lets you conjure. Figure going to be doing a lot of work opening breaches. I got the double, so let's try and make use of that. For the 4, I went with the Incandescent Jewel because I have the first 3 are unmarked. It's only 2. I'm not going to buy. I don't even think I'll get down that far. But being able to produce 3 instead of 2, and it's optional, so I don't have to take that risk if I don't want to. But certainly when it's unmarked, I can do it at least once before it overheats. And then the Frozen Light, gain 3. This is one you may discard during an ally's turn. If they do, they gain 1 charge, and you gain a charge. Again, I really want to be able to get charges. That also plays really well into a card Zaxos has, which we'll get into. Once again, opening breaches, Shifter's Cloak, and those are all already marked up, right? All 5 are fully boosted and ready to go. Give another try to the Summoner's Horn. which again, recall, you can discard a card to gain a charge, and then it's also got its core ability. And then spells. I just don't. I haven't bought a lot of the 7s and 8s. I've got the 8s of Zaxos, so I decided to go with cheaper stuff. Not as cheap as the 2, and actually that was the new Gravehold. That wasn't even an option. But love the 8th of Ripple. I don't know if fire tokens are going to factor in here. This is an entirely new deck, so it's not like I'm using the regular Nemesis cards. And again, I haven't looked at this. The order is set, so we'll see what comes up. It looks a little bit heftier than normal, and I did have to discard, because I'm playing a 3-player, I discarded 3 cards off the top of the deck, so I remembered to do that. But just in case we have to deal with fire tokens, let's grab a Dows. The backfire, it's the 5 cost I have. It's certainly very useful to being able to discard a charge and get it back, so it's a nice tactical thing that you can decide in the moment, so I like including that. And I don't even know if we used the paralleled self. This might be the first time. So there we go. That is just deals 5 damage, but you can recall and spend 2 to deal 2 damage. So I like the idea that give you multiple options and ways. Being able to do damage during the main phase can definitely be useful. So those are the supply piles. We've gone over everything. So at this point, the only thing to do is roll the die, shuffle up the turn order deck, and get started. Okay, let's get started. Shuffling up the turn order deck. And 1, 2, 3, 4. We are going to start with Jan Magda. Oh, and I decided to have Zaxos go first with the wild, so that to increase the chances he can use his Essence Leech, which is when somebody else gains a charge, he can gain a charge. But we'll see how that works out. We are going to start with Jan Magda, and let's take a look at her special. So she's got the Eldritch Eye. While this is prepped, when you open a breach during this turn, deal 2 damage. So it'll be pretty good. Not that we have anything we really need to deal with right now. But that, and she's got the crystal, and also everybody is going to start the game with a silence token. Let's not forget about that. I also get to boost 2 cards at the start of the game, but that's obviously not coming into play. So for Jan Magda, she's got a total expenditure of 3. The next relic she gains this turn is going to be put in her hand. Now, even before that happens, she is going to gain a card. So I'm going to have her gain Starglass. And then she can go ahead and spend 3, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get a Shifter's Cloak, which will go right into her hand, which she can then play to, I guess, focus this breach, and that'll allow me to prep both. I also gave her the upgraded Spark, which deal 1 damage, then deal 1 damage. And actually, there's no reason not to prep this first. While this is prepped, when you open a breach. So, all right, well, we're not opening a breach. We're just focusing. So that is going to do it for Jan Magda's first turn. Okay, so far so good. Next up, we have the Nemesis. All right, well, let's see what this is all about. All right, so first Nemesis card, Combustion. It's a power card to discard, spend 6. Otherwise, it is going to unleash twice. So drop that into play with a couple power tokens. I mean, I could deal with that on Takran's first turn, but I don't know. Let's see how it goes. Well, it's the Nemesis again. We're going to pull off token. And we have the turn order card. All right. Fiery Torrent. Unleash. Any player suffers 2 damage. Add a fire token to your location on the map. All right. So we are going to be having to deal with fire tokens. Had a feeling as much because there's a place to write how many fire tokens we got on the map. All right. So Unleash is we're going to resolve a mage attack card. And that is going to be Claudia. Oh, Claudia fighting against her parents. Who aren't actually in this game, but they're on our side. The players collectively discard 3 gems. All right, so all of my... I may just do it over here. I don't know. I had all these careful plans when I was choosing mages, figuring out who was going to do what on the first turn. And, of course, a card comes and throws it out. So I'm going to have somebody take 2 damage. I'm going to grab a fire token. So let me figure out how I'm going to deal with all this. All right, so I'm going to have Yan Magda take the brunt of this. She's going to discard 2 crystals, so at least she'll be able to get a charge. And we'll have Takrin, who would be able to produce 7, but he'll discard the other one. So we'll just have to settle for 6, although that's not going to be able to deal with this because I only gain that extra if I focus or open a breach. So, but that deals with the Nemesis at least. So next up, we do have Takrin. That is unfortunate. Would have definitely rather Zaxos went first, but we will prep a spark. So there's 1 from the crystal. This is going to produce 2 for me. So 1, 2, 3, 4. When I focus or open a breach, I get an additional 2. So I'm just going to focus this breach for 2, which is going to be replenished. So it's 4, and I'll just go ahead and get an irradiated jewel. And also, let's not forget that at the start of the turn, I do gain a card, right, for that global effect. This is actually going to give me a chance. Next round, I'll have 2 shots to go before the Nemesis if I do want to take this out, which, given these Unleash effects, I probably do. So, I mean, that's 6 right there. So probably not going to focus or open a breach, which means I'm going to hang on to the Warding Stone. I'll let that go through on the next turn around. Yeah, that should work out. So that is going to do it for Takrin's turn. And next up, it is going to be Zaxos. Kind of knew that was coming. Wasn't much else of a choice. All right, so Zaxos, we obviously got to get something focused here so we can get these down. This one we may want to hold on to. There's no targets, so we'll do it to the open breach. We've got 2, which I can use to focus this. Then I'll spend this to gain a charge. Yeah, I was hoping he'd go first to have this in play. Somebody else could gain a charge, although no. Well, yeah, and it's actually this. Never mind. It worked out fine because they weren't going to be gaining charges. Also, Zaxos gets to acquire a card that costs 3 or less. I think we know the minions are going to come out. They're going to be annoying. Let's mix it up. Let's get him an Aether Ripple as his free get. So spend all this. We can go ahead and prep this. These will go into the discard pile. Draw 5. That's the end of Zaxos' first turn. And now Zaxos' wild turn. Yeah, so I think in this case, I mean, I'll go ahead and just hit the boss twice. Have to cast the spark because it is on a closed breach. And then I've got 4 to spend, so I think just keep it simple. Again, getting those charges will be good for him. Start getting some really powerful spells, so spend 2 for a charge. We'll spend 2 to go ahead and open this breach, which can now support 2 spells. And that is going to do it for Zaxos. Okay. And that is the end of round 1. So, let's see how things go. If we have a chance to deal with this combustion before it explodes and a couple of mages come and attack us. Can't we all just get along? Like, why are we fighting? It's all just a huge misunderstanding. Or is it? All right, let's see. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on, wild or 2? It's wild, so that worked out. Not exactly. I need to go again. I forgot. I need to shuffle back through my deck. So we'll just throw Spark again at Brama. Weird visual, but we're attacking Brama. Drop that down. Okay, so now I've got 4 to spend. Yeah, this is the breach I want to get open sooner. But I think with 4, I mean, let's go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This hand is going to be looking like a hand where I'm going to want to be focusing or open or breach. So I'm going to grab another one of these instead of a spell, just to make sure that that I'm able to maximize the ability there. Okay, so now Takrin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is in a position with a lot of Aether. So if I get lucky enough, we'll see. Next up is going to be, it's the Nemesis. I did not get lucky. What are the consequences? All right, unleash twice. So we will start. Who's attacking us? It is going to be, it's Gygar. Any player loses a charge and suffers 2 damage. Don't really have a choice, right? In a situation like that, I cannot choose somebody who has no charges unless nobody had any charges. So Zaxos takes a hit. That's the first one. Don't want to forget we're going to have to do that. The next attack is going to be Saskel. All right. Any player loses 2 charges. Gravehold suffers 2 damage. Well, that is frustrating. Trying to get Zaxos going, and just like that, he's knocked down. And knowing that these mages are going to circle back around pretty quickly is also not great. All right, well, let's see what we got next. It's another power card, Fulminate. Discard, I just have to discard 3 cards. Power 2, unleash twice, Gravehold suffers 2 damage. Yeah, we're definitely going to get rid of that, because that is, I mean, we have one of these effects is discard 3 cards. So why do that and other things? We'll just get rid of it. That's the Nemesis turn. All right, so now we're back to Yan Magda, who's just gaining a charge. The good news is at least the Essent Leech, right? While prepped, when an ally gains a charge the first time on their turn, gain 1 charge. So timing works out. Could also do it during Takrin's turn. Which I didn't even think about because Takrin went, and I could have had him get a charge, but then he would have been... No, I wanted buying power. So, that is all right. So she's just getting a charge. Oh, I do have to cast. All right, so I think I'm just going to leave that out there. Yeah, I'll deal 2 damage to Brama, and then, well, then I won't be able to prep this. All right, never mind. So just deal 1 damage more to Brama. Drop that out because I already spent these to get the charge. I was thinking I could spend a focus of breach, but that is not the case. Okay, so that's Yan's turn. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Next up is Takrin. All right, so I do have the opportunity to trigger this again. Also to get rid of that, which I completely forgot to do during Yan's turn, but I could also do during Zaxos' turn. So I'm actually going to slow down a sec and think this over. All right, so I think I'm going to be a little aggressive here. I'm going to have Zaxos be the one to discard because this is a good hand. I really want to get moving on getting these breaches. So, but I also want to get some spells. So what I'm going to do is, right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am going to use this. I got a 50-50 shot. All right, unfortunately, it's a player card, so I do have to overheat this once. But that does generate 9. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 3 to get the Aether Ripple. I'm actually going to get 3 charges. The sooner I can fire off this Guardian Strength, get a bunch of stuff focused, I think that will put me in a better position, especially given with theirs. He doesn't need so much focus because he's got the double here. But 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. So let's keep the good stuff coming. Yeah, I'm hopeful that that'll pay off. Getting his charges going early, but we'll see. Oh, I actually should have. No, I didn't have to cast a spark, so you know what? I will leave it because I'd rather not draw it at this point, right? I'd rather be getting the better spells. So okay, so that is going to do it for Takran's turn. All right, so now it's Zaxos. So I realized too, I have this special spark that gives a charge in Zaxos' deck, and I've already cast that. I would have gained another charge, but there was a point I had to discard 2 charges. Zaxos only had 1. I would have lost the charge anyway. So I do want to get both of these up, but what I think is I'll leave the Essence Leech out here. So as long as these guys are gaining charges, he's gaining charges. So we'll just go ahead and cast the Spark, doing 1 damage to Brama. Then I can prep both of these to this breach. Now, I've got 3 cards, which I'm going to discard to get rid of this. I think that is the smarter play. No reason to let that go off. Don't want to take a chance. Obviously, the Nemesis going next, then the Nemesis could go again. So just get rid of that. That's going to be it for Zaxos. Okay. Yeah, I potentially, depending on how things go, could get one of those 8-cost spells on his next turn. But let's start off, finish out round 2 with the Nemesis. It's going to be reinforcements. So this answers a question I had. If you're fighting Brama, read 47 of the narrative book. Otherwise, read section 19. So, right, this can... so use the same deck whether you're fighting against Brama or you're fighting against Gianna, depending on which side. So, all right, we are fighting Brama, and we are going to read section 47. All right. You don't even know what you're up against, Brahma snaps. She lifts her staff to the side in a broad gesture, and a woman darts out of the shadows, blade bared and ready for battle. Place card L2E32 into play, and that is going to look like this. We have Reeve, who I'm guessing is from a previous Aeon Zen set. Minion, our first minion, 1 shield, 5 health. Gravehold suffers 2 damage, and any player suffers 1 damage. All right, so I like that. Right? Obviously, if it had been if we were fighting Gianna, it'd probably be a different minion that comes into play. So a different mage. That's pretty clever. All right, but otherwise, that is going to be it for the Nemesis turn, and we are ready to move on to round 3. Let me just make sure. Get the health out here. All right, so, well, we finally have a target. 2, 3, 4. We're sitting on 5 damage on the table, so not quite enough to take that out. Oh, no, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we got 6 on the table, so... and we got the silence tokens, which, again, I don't think I'm going to use this early. But let's go ahead. That is a 1, so it's going to be the wild, which is going to be Yan Magda. So the easy thing is obviously we're going to take out that shield. And now we got a bunch of spending power. We still got the Essence Leech up, so I'm probably going to get a charge, but I'm going to look over and figure it out. All right, so this is super aggressive, but super aggressive is fun. I do have, right, my crystal that lets me get a relic. I was thinking I could spend 5 to get the Summoner's Horn, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to spend 3 to go ahead and get a Shifter's Cloak. So I got 2 of them, which will go in my hand. Just so I don't forget, I'm going to go ahead and gain a charge now, which means Zaxos is also going to get a charge. I've now got 2 Shifter's Cloak, so what I'm actually going to do, I think to accelerate things, I'm going to go ahead and focus Takran's Breach twice. So let's get that closer to getting open. Should be there. And then, right, these are both fully boosted. If this is fully boosted, cast any player's prep spell. It deals an additional 1 damage. So I'm going to cast this Spark, which is normally do 1. It's going to do 2. We're going to do it over here. And then I'm going to go ahead and cast this spell. The Aether Ripple, which deal 2 plus 1 is 3. So we have taken that guy out. Lickety split. And we're going to throw out some Aether tokens. Again, Aeon is the one doing the casting, so they're going to go over here. And yeah, that was pretty effective. So, and then I'll go ahead and split the Shifter's Cloak up. As much as I like doing that big bang on one turn, I don't want that to be a habit. 2, 3. There. Do it like that. Okay. All right. So that is going to do it for the first turn of the round. Move on. Aeon is going to go again. Okay. So while this is prepped, when you open a breach during your turn, deal 2 damage. So let's get that out. And we've got 3, so let's go ahead and open this. Do our extra good spark here. I am going to get to deal 2 damage to Brama. Got her down to 61. Still a ways to go. Okay. That's Yan. Nemesis turn. We have a Thermal Dart. So unleash, the player with the lowest life and Gravehold suffer 2 damage each. Yeah, I don't know that anybody has any healing, and I didn't take any spells with healing. So the unleash is going to be Q, that traitor, turning against us. Oh god, she's fighting against her father. That's just wrong. It's like the Civil War of Aeon's End. Any player discards a card in hand that costs 4 or more, or any player suffers 2 damage. So yeah, I don't want to take the damage. My only choice is the Irradiated Jewel, and I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I don't know what I was going to do with this turn, but if you can avoid taking damage, especially again, this is, it's going to be coming out again. Q's going to keep attacking. So that's the Unleash of the Thermal Dart. Then the player with the lowest life and Gravehold suffer 2 damage each. So we have a choice between Zaxos and Yan. I guess we'll do it to Yan. Yeah, she loses a breach. It's just going to be that one. Okay. Not that I want her to, be exhausted, but just trying to think ahead. Gravehold is going to go down to 26. Again, this triggers at 20 life or less, so we have plenty of time there. Maybe. That is going to do it for the Nemesis turn. We got one more this round, but not yet. Takran will go. Prep a Spark. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Next time we focus or open a breach this turn, gain additional 2. So let's go ahead and spend 3 to get this open. So now I've got 3. I'll go ahead, get a spell. Okay. Drawing back up. Oh, that's right. He's got 2 Aether Ripples now, but there is nothing wrong with that. Aether Ripples are great. All right, I wasn't sure, so I just paused and checked back on the video. I actually had not previously focused this breach, so it is not open yet, but still gain the benefits. Still got the extra 2, so everything else works out fine. I just didn't want to prematurely have that open. Okay, so that taken care of. Next up is the Nemesis, and it is going to be an event. More reinforcements. If you're fighting Brama, read section 27 of the narrative book. Otherwise, read section 61. Brama frowns, her frustration with the tide of the battle apparent on her face. Lash, she calls, we need you. And here we have Lash, another minion with 7 health. Persistent, reveal a top card of the turn order deck. If it is a player turn order card, that player discards 2 cards and adds a fire token. Otherwise, unleash. See, what are you doing, Brama? You're like blowing things up and adding fire tokens? Come on. Is it really worth it? Can you just like, can we all just get along? That's the Nemesis. Next up. Okay, so Zaxos is up. I don't think I'm going to hold on to the Essen Leech because I got some plans. So let's do at least get it in a position where we'll get it back soon anyway. Zaxos does have the wild next turn, so there's a pretty good chance he'll go before either of them go. So he'll go ahead and toss 1 damage over there. Then we'll do the spark for another damage, which is going to allow us to put out a charge. Then I've got 5 to spend. We'll go ahead and prep this. With that 5, I'm actually going to get a Summoner's Horn, which has the recall ability, discard a card to gain a charge, which I actually can't do. So you know what? I'm not going to get the Summoner's Horn. Let's see. I think instead... Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and get a Frozen Light. Okay. So that'll do it for Zaxos. I could silence that, but again, their effects are only going to get worse. And I don't have any other ways to silence minions. So going to hang on to those. That is going to do it for Zaxos. That is going to do it for round 3. Wild should be over here, right? So Zaxos is the one who's going to get the double turn. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we need to deal with that guy. So 3, 1, 2, 3 is going to be the wild. That's great. So Zaxos is going to go first. Just throw a spark at him, knock him down to 4. That's going to let us get our Essence Leech back out along with the Aether Ripple. I've got the ability to gain a charge. So I think I am going to gain a charge. I'm going to spend 2 to gain another charge. So that is going to give me 6 charges and allow me to use his ability. Activate during your main phase. Look at the top card of your Reckoning deck, then place it on top of your deck. So here is the Reckoning deck. Conveniently, there are 6 cards. We'll shuffle it up and roll the die, and the top is going to be 3. Let's look at it. It is Cosmic Reckoning. Oops. All right, Cosmic Reckoning says, let's put it up on the screen. Cast, if this is the first spell you cast this turn, any ally draws 4 cards and preps any number of spells in hand to their open or closed breaches. Wow. Okay, yeah. Zaxos has some power. So glad we got that one running. And of course, he's going to draw it. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. More of those we can get, the better. That's it for Zaxos' turn. So let's keep on moving with Yan. So let's see. So we're definitely going to throw this at him, which is going to do 2 damage. Now I think instead of casting the Eldritch Eye, which only deals 1 damage, while this is prepped, when you open a breach during your turn, deal 2 damage. I do have the Shifter's Cloak, so I can open this. That'll let me deal 2 damage. It'll also let me cast a spell. In which case, I could just cast that. But, well, and I got to figure out what I'm going to buy this turn, so I'll take a moment to look it over. I think the net damage output is higher if I just leave this here for now. And I've got an open breach, so I'm not going to cast it. I'll go ahead and prep the spark. I've got the Shifter's Cloak, so let's go ahead and open up Takran's Breach. And I don't have to, I could focus, but let's go ahead and open it. That's going to allow me to cast any player's spell, so I'll cast this Spark. It's going to deal 2 damage, take out the minion, or mage, as the case may be. Got 4. I could get a charge, which will also get Zaxos to charge, but I also, now that I've got this breach open, and if I'm going to be building up charges, let me get something worth casting. So I'm going to get a Douse. Now, I'm pretty sure, right, if I cast the Douse 3 times off here, I can still only get rid of 1 fire token, but I could go 3/3/3, and then on the 3rd cast, I could use the ability to destroy it. I'm not sure that's how it works, but that seems, you know, I don't think they intend for you to be able to fire off. You know, you've got 5 Douses in the deck. You get rid of fire tokens with it. I don't think the intent is to be able to do more. So that's how I'm going to do that. And that is it for Yan's turn. Alright, so next up we have the Nemesis. And it is another power card. Wildfire Whip to discard. We have to spend 7. Power 2, unleash twice, add a fire token. Alright, so, and we are still in level 1. Nice, short, simple Nemesis turn, leading to a Zaxos turn. Okay, so, let's see. Certainly cast Aether Ripple, dealing 2 damage to Brama, down to 59. That's going to get some tokens out. And we'll just keep leaving the Essence Leech out. So we can prep 2 spells here. We got the Spark and the Cosmic Reckoning. I just realized the Cosmic Reckoning doesn't actually do any damage. It's still very powerful, though. So Frozen Light, gain 3 or give out charges. So at this point, I can either spend 5. I don't need another one of those. Could buy a Backfire, which I don't really want to do. Yeah, I think I'm going to use the Frozen Light. You may discard this during any ally's turn. So, again, this is the kind of thing where if I weren't playing every hand at once, I could have just done this during Yan's turn. I think I would have. I would have taken the time to kind of figure out my turn. So I'm just going to go ahead, and that actually would have happened before I cast the Aether Ripple. So that will be a charge for Zaxos. When an ally gains a charge for the first time on their turn, gain 1 charge. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense, because now I give Yan a charge. It's Yan's turn. That's going to trigger the Essence Leech. So definitely would have been the way to go. Then I could spend these 2 to get a 3rd charge, and we are off and running. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Takran. Don't got anything to cast. We'll go ahead and get an Aether Ripple down here. And let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, that makes that pretty easy. Could look at options, or I can just get rid of this. I will choose to do that. That's the easier choice. Leading to, first draw, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then leading to the Nemesis turn. So we have Monstrous Inferno. Unleash, if you have 3 or fewer fire tokens, which at the moment we do. We're going to have to add a fire token, otherwise unleash. So, but let's see what the unleash does first. We are getting attacked by Lost. Alright, the player with the most spells in their discard pile suffers damage equal to the number of spells in their discard pile. So we've got 1 here. And 2 over here. Ouch. That's a rough one. Alright, so that was the unleash effect. Then I do have to gain a fire token. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That takes care of that. Presumably we're going to need to access the mages again, so I'll just shuffle that up now. We're also at the end of the round, so we might as well do this. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, where are we at? Well, I mean, board control has been incredibly easy. There's been 2 minions this game. Boss is down to 59 out of 70. I feel like we've done a good job building stuff up. I like the way all the decks are looking. Definitely relieves some pressure being able to just start by gaining a 3-cost card, so you can afford to start doing charges and kind of do other things without sacrificing economy. But that is concerning. That low life. All right. So Takran is going to lead things off. We'll go ahead. We're still on level 1. So it's going to be 2 damage. I just want to remember we're going to put token here. And because of this breach, I'm also going to gain 1. So I'll just use a token to keep track of that. Let's deal the 2 damage to Brama down to 57. And again, we'll throw a spark here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so 4. Would it be worth getting one of these? Or I could just, let's see, if I were to spend 5, but then I have to discard a card, I could trigger this for the extra. Doing the charges could start accelerating some things. Although it's probably even more useful to be able to cast the spells off. I'm doing pretty good. It'd be nice to get this open. So, alright, I'm going to look over my options and figure out how I want to do this. Alright, I definitely want to get a charge so Zaxos can get a charge. And I do like the idea of making this work. I want to do it for maximum effectiveness, so I'm going to take a chance on the Irradiated Jewel for the extra. Unfortunately, it is a player card, at least I know. Aeon is going first, but we do have to mark that off. So that's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm producing 8 before those go in my discard pile. I'm going to spend 5 to get the Summoner's Horn. Then I'm going to spend 1 to discard this to gain a charge, which is also going up to allow Zaxos to gain a charge. Sorry, can't discard that. I spent that. I have to discard a regular crystal. Then I'll spend these 2 to get my 5th charge. And, you know, I do have these things coming out that make me discard charges, so maybe I hold off so that Takran could be the one that discards charges if need be. I could use this now. There's no immediate benefit to it. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to stand pat like that for now. Okay. That is going to bring us to Jan Magda. So, at this point, I guess I need more spells. And I got some more coming, but let's start by throwing a spark for 1. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would, if I gain a relic, I'd be able to put it in my hand. But I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to spend the 6. I'm going to get one of these parallel shifts. I'm not in a position to use the recall, but that's okay. Just nice to get some big spells into play. When you open, if you open a breach during your turn, deal 2 damage. Alright, you know what? Instead of opening the 6, I think I'm going to do this a little bit differently. Also because I want Zaxos to be able to gain. So I think what I'm going to do is I want to spend 2 to get a charge, right? That's so Yan's going to get a charge. That's also going to allow Zaxos to get a charge. That's going to leave me with 4. So what I could do in that situation is, yeah, I guess I'll be getting another spell next time around. I'll use the Shifter's Cloak to go ahead and prep this. That's going to allow me to cast a spell for an extra damage. Could be the Spark. I'd gain an extra 1, but let Takrin have that. Could be this Spark, which would give me a charge. But again, I should not be taking stuff away from Zaxos. If this is his first spell you cast this turn, any ally draws 4 cards and preps any number of spells in hand to their open or closed breaches. And that's interesting too. Boy, all right. So in terms of which spell I cast, that actually would not be the first spell I cast. I already cast the Spark, so let's not do that one. Yeah, I think what I can do is, so I spent 2 to get a charge. I've got 4. If we want to deal damage, we have to focus our open or breach. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cast this Spark, do an extra damage. That's going to allow me to gain another Aether. So now I've got 3 and 2. Again, I could gain a Shifter's Cloak into my hand, but I've already got 2 in my deck. I think that's good enough. With a 3, I'm going to get an Aether Ripple. And then I'm going to spend the other 2 to get another charge, kind of priming me to use one of these. So, yeah, when you open a breach. All right, so I didn't open a breach, but that's okay. Okay, that'll do it for Yan's turn. 5. Get rid of all these. I mean, so far, the player damage is a little concerning. Haven't really seen anything else from this deck for like a final climactic battle. I'd expect something maybe a little rougher. Maybe once we get to the 2s it will be, but let's keep going. All right, Nemesis. And we are into the 2s and unleash 3 times. I should really just shut up and not say things are too easy. Consuming Void. So just make sure we're doing this right again. Unleash, draw mage, attack card, resolve it, then place it in the discard pile. So yeah, we're doing that right. All right, so first up, Lost, the player with the most spells in their discard pile. That's going to be here. So it's going to be 1 damage to Takrin, the first he takes. Next up is Q. Any player discards a card that costs 4 or more, or any player suffers 2 damage. Does anybody... Yeah. I'd have to get rid of the Dows. But the alternative is somebody takes 2 damage. I think I'll just get rid of it. I've got this prepped and ready to go. But the Spark cast 3 times is also pretty good. So yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll just discard the Dows so that I don't have to take any damage. And last but not least, Saskel. Any player loses 2 charges. And then Gravehold suffers 2 damage. So in terms of who is going to lose charges, let's see. All right, it's going to be a while before Yan goes again. There'll be an opportunity if I really want. I'm probably going to be able to play this Aether Ripple. So maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But it's fine. I'll just do it to Yan because I really want to use this ability when it comes around. Gravehold takes 2 damage. So that does it for the Nemesis turn, leading us to Zaxos. All right, so now is an opportunity where we can do some stuff. All right. So I'm going to take a moment and think this through in terms of, because this cosmic reckoning, figure out which ally I want to have do it. Yeah, I think it's going to be Takran only because that'll let me get the Aether Ripple in. Takran does get to go again with the Wild this round, which will get an extra token here. It'll set a lot of stuff up. So the only reason I might do Yan is to go through the deck more quickly to get that Dows back. But yeah, we'll be able to cast this again. So this is the first spell I'm going to cast. Any ally draws 4 cards and preps any number of spells in hand to their opened or closed breaches. So then I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Holy moly. And just on the off chance I get to open this somehow, I don't think I will, but I'll go ahead and prep a spark there. Okay. So that was just that. Then I'll go ahead and cast a spark, which is going to do 1 damage and give me a charge. Okay. So 1 damage over here. Essence Leech, I'm just going to keep out, because why not? So now I can go ahead and use this. Draw the top card, which is going to be Brutal Reckoning. All right, cast. Deal 8 damage divided however you choose among any number of minions, or 10 damage to the nemesis. Holy cow. All right, Zaxos is... It's Zaxos gone wild on Brama coming up pretty soon. Yeah, that's Summoner's Horn in the hands of these players. When Zaxos has that in the discard pile, is going to be crazy good. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 4. I think we'll go with the 4 route. So, right, I can use this. I mean, I'll go ahead and prep a spark. I'll leave that there. I'll gain a charge. Fire tokens could become a problem, so, but somebody else can get the Dows. I think for Zaxos, just keep going with the charges. 2 more charges for Zaxos. Okay. All right, so continuing on, we have the Wild, which is going to be Takran with a lot of stuff going on. All right, well, I have to cast the Spark. But I don't have to cast it first. I will cast the Aether Ripple first. That's going to do 2 damage. It's going to generate some tokens, and then it's also, I believe we are up to 2. So that's going to gain 2 for Takran. Then we'll cast the Spark, which will do 1 damage. I don't know, I'm making quick work of Brama here. And now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, probably going to conjure 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 if I focus or open a breach. So, all right, and I've got all these charges, so I'm definitely going to focus or open a breach. So it's pretty crazy. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and spend 5 charges, focus any player's breach, or any ally preps a spell to one of their open or closed breaches, repeats this process 3 times. So, yeah, let's start off by prepping the Brutal Reckoning. Let's get that out. Kind of have that at the ready over there. So, and then I think I'm just going to focus this twice. So get that in position to be used. So now 2, or not 2, we're going to conjure. So I will go ahead and use this to conjure here, and I get to look at the card. It is an Aether Ripple, so I don't have to. I could put it back. But let's go ahead and get that down there. And then, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. Let me see, because I go here, bunch of different. I could get a bunch of charges, so I'm gonna look things over, figure out where I want to go. All right, so yeah, I do. Well, first of all, I'm gonna spend 4 because I want to be able to deal with some of these fire tokens, and then I'm gonna spend the other 5 to get the Summoner's Horn. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I've still got 2 more. But what I'm actually going to do... Yeah, it doesn't matter. 6 1/2 dozen. I'll spend 2 more to just get a charge. Really, the reason I want the Summoner's Horn is because I got another one in my deck, but I want to be able to rotate them out to Zaxos to be able to keep getting spells back. Okay, so that does it for Takran. 2, 3, 4, 5. Kind of got all my spells clumped up. I'm also in a bad way if I get that card that deals damage for spells in the discard pile. But, well, we'll see what happens. It is going to be the Nemesis turn, and... Alright, read section 69 of the narrative book. Ooh, and I noticed the top of this deck says fragment, so something is about to happen. Okay, a lot of stuff has happened here. There is a lot of text, so I'm not going to read it all. I'm just going to read a little bit of the beginning and the end for you. The battle comes to a sudden halt as the sky above the mages goes black. They turn and look up as one, as a void portal dark and swirling and massive enough to entirely block out the sun rips itself into existence. And that same masked figure holding the giant tome steps out from it and descends slowly to the ground. And now we have an extended conversation. It turns out this is Mist Revealed, which I think I'm probably missing something, having not played a lot of the other previous incarnations of Aeon's End. But apparently Mist, who exiled herself so that she could spend time in the void and hone her power to kill things, is now come back to recreate Gravehold. I will create the ultimate void beast, the flesh and blood of Nameless, knit together into the most powerful thread of all. Mist laughs as the pieces of the fallen Nameless begin to attach themselves to each other and fuse. You will all be blood brothers, bonded in adversity, brought together by tragedy. And from the ashes of our city, whoever remains will truly rise to create the utopia we always dreamed of. Gravehold, perfected. So this is Mist Revealed. We've got a deck here of 6 fragments. We did end up banishing the Rust Amalgam. It said because we had the Rust Superior because we did the Sentinel in play, and if we hadn't, then this would have stayed in and we would have banished the other one. But either way, we end up with 6 fragments. Fragments are going to come out. If all 6 get out, we lose the game. Those are going to be minions. The new Unleash effect from Mist Revealed, who has 80 health. Resolve all the Unleash effects of fragments in play, then draw a card from the fragment deck and place it into play. And then we are also going to start off, if there had been any battles we lost, then those fragments would have started in play. But since we're undefeated so far, it's none, but again, minimum of 2. So we are going to draw 2 fragments. So the first one we're going to have to face is the Wings of Fate Shepherd, my favorite. And by favorite, I mean least favorite. But let's see. This effect, any player gains a card from the supply and suffers damage equal to its cost -1. All right, well, I'm glad it's not making me shuffle my cards around. And that comes into play with 11 health. Good thing that we prepped that. 8 damage divided as you choose among any number of minions. Then we are also going to have to face the Heart of the Mother of Rust. Unleashed, Mist Revealed gains 1 Nemesis token. Then, if she has 3 or more Nemesis tokens, place a fragment into play, and Mist Revealed loses 3 Nemesis tokens. So yeah, we're going to kind of get pieces of all their different abilities. We can silence them, and the silence, the rules are explained on here. The silence stays until the Unleash effect would be triggered, and then it's removed. So that's going to be 12 health over there. Boy, we definitely have some big targets now. This deck still stays in play, the commander deck, so we're still going to be able to get some help out there. Okay, so that is actually it for the Nemesis turn. We're caught up and ready to go, and it's a whole new fight as we get into round 6. So no longer are we fighting the mages. That mage attack deck has been banished. If there had been any cards still in play from the Nemesis, those would have been banished. Unfortunately, nobody gets to heal, so Jan is still at 4 life. So let's see what's going to happen now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm hoping we'll get to go first. All right, so Takrin is going to get to kick things off. All right, so that's actually not terrible. That's a couple damage. This one, gaining the Nemesis tokens, probably don't want that to build up. So I think we'll take out the heart first. So we're going to deal 2 damage there. Actually, these are in the discard pile. I'm actually down to level 1, so I only get 1 of these tokens. We've kind of reset a bit. All right, so let me take in all my options here, figure out where we want to go. Okay, first of all, I do have another Summoner's Horn in my discard pile. So I'm going to discard a card, just going to be a crystal, to gain a charge. So that'll be first. Then I'm going to play the other Summoner's Horn. Any player may prep a spell in their discard pile to their open or closed breaches. Jan's going to be able to get up full charges, fire this off. So this seems like a good opportunity to fire off 9 damage from Dows. The alternative would just be Spark, which, it'd be nice if it gives Zaxos 3 charges. But no, that's never mind. Just 1 charge. Right, because that triple ability is hers. So yeah, I'm just going to do it that way. Okay, so that's that. Then I've got 6 to spend. I know that my next hand coming up is just full of spells. So what I'm just going to do is grab 3 charges. That's going to allow Takrin to get some stuff open. 1, 2, 3. Potentially, he could open all his breaches next turn. Well, hopefully, maybe we'll have a chance to go here first. It depends. Nope, actually, Takrin's not going again for a while, so yeah. All right. So then just figuring out the order. Yeah, this deck is a bit chunky. Then the only other question is, do I want to silence one of these? Any player gains a card from the supply and suffers damage. I mean, I wouldn't mind gaining more of these for now. So I'm going to hang on to the silences for a bit longer. Alright, there is a hand full of spells. Okay, things are getting exciting now. Okay. And that's only the Unleash effect, so these guys don't do anything until Unleash happens, which probably happened right here, but let's see. Alchemical Anatomy. Yeah, Unleash. Resolve the Unleash effect of the oldest minion in play. Alright, so let's make sure. So I think that's going to trigger twice. Unleash. Resolve all of the Unleash effects of fragments in play, then draw a card from the fragment deck and put it into play. Yeah, so this is actually going to happen twice. That's less than ideal. Alright, Zaxos will take 2 damage. There's only 1/8 of Ripple left. Okay. Do I want him to get it, or do I want it to go over here? We'll have him get it, and we'll have Takrin. Well, I don't have to, let's do it in order. This is going to be a Nemesis token. And then resolve the Unleash effect of the oldest. Well, we're going to put this into play, which is going to be the Chains of Myth. Unleash, Mist Revealed, gains 3 life, add a fire token to your location to the map. And I'm sure you will not be surprised to find out that there is no limit to how high this life can be. So, yeah, wow. Now I understand why things weren't that hard when we were slinging spells at Brama and each other. Things were going to get very hard. Now we have to do this unleash, so Takran will take the damage and get a Starglass. That's it for the minion's turn. So now, yep, we got a 1 in play. Or sorry, the Nemesis turn, followed by another Nemesis turn. I really hope we're not unleashing again. Nope, it's a power token, Spreading Chaos, or a power card. Power 1, but we're going to have time to deal with it. Unleash, add a fire token to your location on the map. That's, yeah, the unleash is a problem. The fire token is not so much, but nobody's producing 7 right now, or even close to it. Yeah, boy. Pretty wild. Okay. Takran did gain charges during his turn, which means Zaxos should have gained a charge for the Essence Leech, so I'll just take care of that while I remember it. Right, I think I can just make this work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to deal 9 damage. So I'll do the Brutal Reckoning and for 8 and the Spark, and I'm just going to hit this one for 9. So that knocks it down to 1. Okay. Now, I want to be able to get to 7 to try and deal with that. In order to do that, Jan Magda's going to get to go twice, and then Zaxos will have the best chance of going before the Nemesis next round. So I know that's a crystal. 1, 2, 3. If I hold on to these, so I buy myself 2 more charges, I can go ahead, I can prep this Aether Ripple. I'm going to spend all my charges to return 1 Reckoning card from your discard pile to your hand. I'm going to get the Cosmic Reckoning, which that lets an ally draw 4 cards. So on Jan Magda's turn, I can use Shifter Cloak to cast that, to allow Zaxos to draw 4 cards, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be these 4, which I believe will get me up to 7, which is a pretty convoluted way of doing things, but I think it'll work. So we'll leave that prepped. I'm not spending these. I'm hanging on to them. I need them if I'm going to have any chance of taking this out. So that's it for Zaxos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 4 in hand, right? Once I draw 4 more cards, that'll get me up to 7. Okay. Could all be for nothing if the Nemesis gets to go first, but see how it goes. All right. Now, wild. So Jan is going. Zaxos has the wild turn coming around. Okay, so I've got a couple turns. I don't need to do this all at once. Right, so I could leave the Dows on here and then cast it 3 times. I could also, once I fire off her ability, I could also cast the Spark 3 times. If I can open a breach, I can do 2. So a lot of different ways to go about that. I can definitely open a breach because I just hit that one with the Shifter's Cloak. So might as well leave this on to do the extra 2 damage. Then really the only question is, do I want to use her ability and cast Dows 3 times, cast a spell and prep to an open breach 3 times, then reset that breach? Problem with that is I would then not be able to prep a spell. So I think I'm better off just waiting on that. Although doing it 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I could get to work. Yeah, I can just open the breach for 4. So I need the 4 for the counters. She gets 2 turns. There's a lot of ways to look at this. All right, let me go through the options. I think I'd like to be able to do is leave my opportunity to cast the Dows 3 times. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to use the Shifters. So I'm not going to cast the Dows. I'm not going to cast this. I know Jan's going next anyway. I'm going to use the Shifter's Cloak. I'm going to open this breach. So that's going to allow me to deal 2 damage. I'll be able to kill that next turn, so I'll just do it over here. Yeah, we got to get rid of this guy. Knock him down to 9. Oh, that also allows me to cast a spell, yes, which is going to be the Cosmic Reckoning. It does +1 damage, so it does do a damage, so we can just kill this right now. And not have to worry about those tokens. Okay, so then let's do the effects. If this is the first spell you cast this turn, which it is because I didn't cast either of these spells, any ally draws 4 cards and preps any number of spells in hand to their open or closed breaches. Wow, I even forgot about that part of the ability. So 1, 2, 3, 4 cards going to Zaxos, who will then be able to prep both of these. Sure, might as well keep an open spot here. Get all these out. That's the Shifter's Cloak. Then I'll spend 2 to gain a charge, which is also going to gain a charge for Zaxos. Then I'll spend my last 2 to focus this breach, because it'll cost 2 to focus, and then I'll prep a spark there. So that is turn number 1 for Jan Magda, and now she's going to take her second turn. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. I got another Shifter's Cloak, and I have just enough to get another charge. A bunch of stuff. I got 2 new spells. I am going to be able to fire off her ability, so I'm potentially throwing a lot of damage around. So I'm going to take time. I'm going to work this through, and we'll be right back. All right, I think I've worked this out. So here's what I'm going to do. I do have to cast the Spark, so that's going to deal 2 damage over here. I am going to leave the other 2 for now. Okay, then I am going to play the Shifter's Cloak, and this was actually here. I'm going to rotate this. Then I'm going to use that to cast the Spark. It'll do 1 extra damage, so that's 2 more damage over here. And I may be able to move things around. In fact, sure. When I cast this Spark, I'll just hit 1 here. That's going to gain me a charge, which is also then going to allow me to spend 2 here to open this breach. I can prep this here. I've opened a breach. I get to do 2 more damage, so we'll do 2 damage over here. Okay. So you are down to 9. Now, let's devour magic. Cast a spell, prep to an open breach, open enchanted breach 3 times, then reset it. So we're going to cast Dows. I am going to cast it 3 times. I'm going to use this opportunity to, I think, get rid of the fire token. We could probably wait. We're not that close to the end of the game. This thing's at 80 life, and there's a lot of cards in the deck. So get to deal 3 damage. I get to deal it 3 times. So we'll do it twice to here for 6, taking that one out, and then the 3rd time to here, knocking this guy down to 6. Then that breach will close. So I'm not going to be able to prep the Spark, but that's okay. That would have been the reason to cast that, but we'll just keep it that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So, and I did gain a charge this turn, so that's going to be another charge for Zaxos, right? On each of her turns, she gained 1 charge. That's going to do it for round 6, 9? 9. All right, we are in a position now where Zaxos does have the 7, has 2 chances, so I basically got a 50-50 shot here of being able to take this out before it goes off. I guess the only other question is, do I want to silence this, add a fire token to your location to the map? I am going to be able to kill it only once Zaxos goes. Alright, I'm going to hold on to the silence tokens again for now. And okay, here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Start player for this round. It's going to be the Nemesis. That is unfortunate. All right, so this doesn't necessarily go off, but it will because this is going off. Spreading Chaos, Unleash, add a fire token to the map. So the Unleash effect is going to reveal... First, we're going to resolve this, which will add a fire token and give 3 life up to 83. And then we are going to bring out a fragment. The Hands of the Griftweaver. Unleash, destroy a supply pile. If you can't, the players lose the game. Yeah, that's not good. But I guess we could have expected that that was going to come in. Honestly, there are a bunch of supply piles I would not worry about losing right now. So it's actually not that big a deal. That one I actually think I can ignore for a while. And we do have to add another fire token for this. All right, Nemesis turn number 1. All right, Takran goes. All these spells. Don't even think we can get them all down, but we can at least get stuff here and here. Drop a spark there. We have the Summoner's Horn. Any player may spread a spell in their discard pile to their opened or closed breaches. I mean, let's get Cosmic Reckoning going again. That's definitely the best spell we're sitting on right now. And Zaxos hasn't yet gone this round, so yeah, for sure. Can't do anything with the spark, so that's it for... Oh, but I do... Actually, I can do something with the spark because I have Takran's ability. So I think I will go ahead and use it. Focus any player's breach or an ally preps a spell to one of their open or closed breaches. Repeat this process 3 times. Yeah, I think I'll just go 1, and then we can get working on one of these. 2, 3. I guess the alternative... Yeah, these aren't that hard to open. So, and then I now can prep this spark because I focus on breach this turn. So, okay. That was pretty good. Things down. Yeah, I'll take my chances. I don't really want another fire token, but it doesn't seem the best time to use silence when he's still going twice and actually cannot do enough damage to kill this because I got the Cosmic Reckoning back. Yeah, alright. I think I do need to silence this just to slow down the fire tokens. He's got 7 to spend. Not even going to be able to get another spell. 2, 4, 5. You know, I think as much as I like the Cosmic Reckoning, I think I actually got to do this first. I think it's more important that that I don't let this guy linger. So that being the case, now that I can do 6 damage, I will hang on to my silence token. I'll take a chance. All right, chance paid off. It is Zaxos' turn, so gain a charge. Cast both of these. get this down first. It's going to be a total of 6 damage either way. So that takes out that guy. We do get to pile out a bunch of these. So that's nice. All right. So then I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think at this point we're just going charges. And the question then is, wow, that's a hell of a hand. But 1, 2, 3. So do I want at this point to get one of these spells back and prep it, or which could be the Cosmic Reckoning, or yeah, I think let's get a new spell. It'll go on top of my deck. I'll be able to prep that next turn. So that is going to be Nocturnal Reckoning. Allies collectively gain 4 charges, reveal the turn order deck, return it in any order, or deal 8 damage. So very nice. I like both those options. Put that on top of the deck. I actually did have gain a charge, so I actually did have enough. Right, I thought I had 7 to spend, but I could just spend 6 for 3 charges, use that to gain a charge, so I should actually be at 1. All right. Okay, that does it for Zaxos. Let's keep it moving to the Nemesis. We have, it's another power card, Ethereal Suturies. To discard, spend 9. Power 2, unleash. The player with the most expensive card in hand discards that card and suffers 1 damage. Alright, and it's got 2, spend 9. I will be able to do that if Takrin gets a chance to go again. This guy doesn't do anything unless it's an unleash, so we can move forward to here. Alright, well, we want to keep the damage down, so I'm not in a position to fire this off anytime soon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we'll just do the Aether Ripple for 2 damage. I probably want to leave this out. I could potentially open this for 4. That's probably my best way to go. That'll let me do an extra 2 damage. So let's not forget I also get to dole out a couple tokens. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Also, just make sure, yeah, nothing in the discard pile. This I do have the recall. Alright, so if I just spend 4 straight up, I can open this. That's going to allow me to do 2 more damage, knocking this down to 10. And then with the remaining 2, just buy a charge. Drop a spark into play. You know what? I'm going to backtrack that because I'm thinking about it. Like, this is a powerful ability that I am not properly leveraging if I do it this way. So instead of opening this, I'm not going to worry about doing the extra 2 damage. I'll just leave that there. I can prep the spark here. I think with 6, I should be buying a good spell. So I'm going to go ahead and get the Parallel Self, because deal 5 damage 3 times sounds really appealing to me. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And I don't have the charge there. Yeah, Magda's turn, all set. This guy's back to 12. Next up is Wild. So that is going to be Zaxos, who is certainly not the person who's spending 9. Zaxos doesn't have any spells to cast initially. Wow. I did not work this out. Well, no, I did not work this out well. Maybe I have 4 to spend, so I could at least focus a breach. Just can't get it open yet. So I think that's what I have to do. I got to focus this for 3. That'll allow me. It'll allow me to put down all my spells. So I actually could hang on to the spark if I wanted to buy something instead. But now let's get this closer to getting open. So we'll put the spark there. We'll drop both of these over here. Again, I'm not worried about silencing that guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, getting that open is going to be important. I got a lot of spells in here that I'm moving through. That's the end of the round. We'll see. Takran does have the wild, so Takran's got, pretty decent chance of going before the Nemesis goes twice. If I want to be able to take that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I'm sitting on 10. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The Nemesis is going first. Lose a power token. Void Walk. If there are 3 or more fragments in play, there aren't. Resolve the unleash effects of all minions in play. Otherwise, draw 2 cards from the fragment deck and put them in play. Ugh, why do you hate me? Why do you hate me, Aeon's End? Because otherwise, the game would be too easy. All right. We have the Chest of Bone. Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Interesting. Gravehold's still 24. I have no idea what this commander deck does. We might find out pretty soon. The Rust Superion's Armor. And now we got stuff with shields. Any player suffers 2 damage and discards a prepped spell. Alright, so that was that. Alright, well, there's 1 Nemesis, and there's 4 of us, but only 2 that I really care about the most, which is getting Takran to go, so I don't have to deal with this. And Takran is up. Thank goodness. Alright. There's a lot I can do here, so, because I got both my special open breaches, I'm doing a lot of damage, so I'm going to take some time to work it all through. Alright, well, first up, I'm going to use both these sparks to, well, yeah, I have to do it first, to take out these shields. Don't like this one, discarding prep spells. I will Aether Ripple that for 2 plus 2 is 4 damage, so that's going to knock it down. 4, then I'll douse it, so I fall just short of being able to kill this guy, but close. I got him down to 1, and I'm going to gain 2 to spend from there. I want the Warning Stone to be able to kick off, so I'm going to spend 2 to open this breach, which is basically going to give me an additional 2 back. So we're in a position where I got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So first things first, let's spend 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'll spend all those. To get rid of this. Do not have to worry about ethereal studies. Okay. I do have the ability to discard a card to gain a charge, so I'm going to do that. Then last but not least, I'm going to use the Starglass to conjure, and then it's just a question of, do I want to be able to deal damage or get production? I think getting the production is actually, it's faster I can get these charges, fire this off again. Yeah, we'll do it that way. So it's just a crystal, so we'll do that to there. I should like that the best right now. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Good. Not the Nemesis. So easy start there is to spark this guy for 1. Yeah, I guess it almost would have made more sense to do the damage a little differently. But now I've got damage. Yeah, you know what? damage any way you just choose. So let's do this in a better order. Let's start with Brutal Reckoning. Deal 8 damage divided however you choose among any number of minions. So it's going to be... Oh, but this has to be the first spell. All right. Take 3. Cosmic Reckoning. If it's the first spell you cast this turn, any ally draws 4 cards and preps any number of spells in hand in their opened or closed breaches. Well, that's the best of both worlds, because then... although... 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, I would then be able to prep there before my turn. So I just wouldn't be able to use Summoner's Horn, but I'll also have it in my hand. So yeah, let's do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I can go ahead, prep that there. Is that real? Wow. Yeah. Okay. I guess I need more spells over here. But that's so that's for Cosmic Reckoning. Then we'll do the Brutal Reckoning, deal 8 damage. So we'll do 1 here, 1 here. Yeah, you know what? Actually, we'll cast the Spark first, because that can go here. No, that won't work. Yeah, then I'll just have to do 6 here. Because it's divided any way you choose, but it's all dealt at once, so I can't really deal damage to this because of the shields. But then I can do the Spark. Then I can get rid of the shield. Then finally the Nocturnal Reckoning. Allies collectively gain 4 charges, and I can manipulate the turn order deck, which I actually think would be pretty good, or I could just deal 8 damage to a minion. I mean, charges are good, right? Especially letting this go. So yeah, I'm just gonna... Boy, Takron is producing a lot. Alright, let me figure it out. Okay, so I am gonna go ahead and give 4 charges to Takron from the Nocturnal Reckoning. Collectively, but I'm going to give them all to Takron. Instead of dealing the damage. Because I do want to look at the turn order deck. I want to have a chance to set some stuff up before, at least to take this out. So... Alright, so we are dealing 2 for 6 damage from Takron. Oh, you know what? I forgot about the 2 extra from here, so I'll actually... it's fine. I'm sure I can find a good use for all that expenditure. Alright, so definitely want Takron to go next. Question is there anything I want Jan Magda to do before the Nemesis goes? Probably not, although yeah, I'll just be talking about Gravehold taking damage. I mean, that's going to happen regardless. I'm not going to be able to deal with that. Depending on what comes out, I might want to silence something, so I will have Yan go last. So I'm actually not changing the order, but I did get 4 charges out of it. Okay, so then we will... Oops, sorry. That was just casting, so now we do need to get some stuff out. So at this point, 1, 2, 3, and I will be able to prep this during Takron's turn. So then I'll just gain a charge. Draw 4. Don't need to silence. Okay, so Takron's turn. Do the Aether Ripple. Get the tokens. Deal 4 damage. I think I'm actually going to deal it to the chest of bone, because again, there's some stuff I'm just not going to be buying anymore. So, and then I will cast that for 2, which is also going to generate some buying power. So 2 more damage to that. So that's down to 5. Okay. So now I'm going to spend this 2 to conjure, or just Starglass to conjure. So Spark will just put that there. I want to get a spell for here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 2... Actually, the Irradiated Jewel, I know what the top card is. It's Nemesis. So I will use it for 3, 4, 5, 6. I will go ahead and buy a Parallel Self. Okay? Which is in my discard pile. So I will use this, spend 2 to use the recall ability to spend 2 to do 2 damage to this guy, knocking him down to 3. Then I will use first Summoner's Horn. Any player may prep spell in their discard pile to open club's breaches. Any player. So Parallel Self is coming out. And then I'll use the other Summoner's Horn, and we'll just keep the damage going. I will get Brutal Reckoning and throw that out here. So, okay, that was eventful. Oh yeah, eventful, and I'm not done yet because I still have 2 left to spend, and I have this. So I'm gonna spend all my charges. First things first, let's go ahead, and that's 1 activation. And then do I want to get anything else down? Wouldn't hurt to have some more potential damage in play, especially in case shields show up. So we'll throw that down, and then I think let's work towards getting that open as well. So we'll spin that once, and then finally, with the last 2, I will get a charge, which is also going to get charged for Zaxos. And that is going to be the end. Pretty crazy turn. We'll drop one of those there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, do I want them both coming together? Sure, why not? Okay. Pretty wild. Let's also not forget that I do have the ability to use both of these. So, I'm going to keep that as a reminder that we've got the recalls. All right. Now we know we do have the Nemesis coming up. Do we want to silence either of these in case it triggers? No, it's okay. Alright, so the Nemesis is Manifest. Draw 2 cards from the Fragment deck and place them into play with 6 less life on each, or Gravehold suffers 7 damage. Ooh, it's tempting. It's tempting to do the damage to Gravehold because I really want to know what these abilities are. 2 of these guys with 6 less. I mean, I am getting very good at killing these, but you know what? I also think I'm at a point where I can start dealing with I think I can start dealing with the boss. So you know what? I'm gonna take a 7 damage on Gravehold and hope I don't regret it, because we're gonna find out what she's gonna do. Alright, what do you got for us? Glyph Carver. Each player focuses their closed breach with the lowest focus cost. Well, that's not that exciting. Make this a little bit easier to open. That's over there. They have none. That's pretty good for that. I was hoping for more, Gianna. That's a little disappointing. Maybe I shouldn't have taken 7 damage on Gravehold. All right, but that's it for the Nemesis turn. So now we can go over here, and we can start to kill some stuff. 1, 2, 3. I can just straight up take this out. Again, I might as well leave this in play. Let's get the Dows down over here. You know what, I'm just going to switch out for the Nemesis. I'll go ahead and do that instead because... Oh, and it wasn't choice. It was my lowest, so it would have had to have been that one. I guess they both cost 2, but this works out better because then I can go ahead. I can spend 2... to open this, which is going to allow me to do 2 damage, which is going to knock this down to 4, and yeah, I'm not quite there. I could do the Shifter's Cloak. Just let me cast an ally spell at +1 damage. Again, I'm not too concerned about that thing going off, so maybe I just do it to boss. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and I will Shifter's Cloak. To play the Brutal Reckoning. It's 10 damage to the Nemesis, 11, 12, so that's pretty good. Got you down to 71. I think we can just start pouring some damage on to Mist. And then it's a question if I want to conjure or get a charge. I think I'll get a charge because then Zaxos gets a charge as well. Again, I've got the silence. I'm not going to use it. Hang on to that. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now we got some big stuff coming in. Okay. End of the round. Oh, yeah. So let's see what we got. 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is the wild. All right, where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 8 rounds done. We are in round 9. So this is where it is supposed to be. Okay. Yeah, so we're still not... Gotta figure out a way to get charges over here. But what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and cast the Dows, and I'm going to start getting rid of these. Taking out fire tokens. So that's 3 damage. Plus potentially 1 more. Yeah, we're just going to do it to the boss. Down to 68. Got place for these 2 spells. Perilous Self will go here. It'd be lovely if we could get some charges, build this up. Drop that there. I can only get the 1 charge for now. I do have a Shifter's Cloak, which I will play. Yeah, you know what? I'll do it here, which is going to generate me 2 Aether. So that's going to deal 1, 2 plus 3 damage down to 65. And that will allow me to gain another charge from the 2 Aether I got there. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty good. over to Zaxos, who's going to... Oh, and I gained a charge, so another one for Zaxos. He is going to fire off 2 Aether Ripples for 4 damage and a bunch of these tokens. Yeah, Aether Ripple is really an incredibly good spell. 4 damage. Yeah, let's just kill this. The numbers work out this time. Again, leave that in play. It's doing good work for us. We'll get Spark out. I'll spend 2 to gain a charge. I'll then spend all my charges, and I will get back... But at this point, let's just go whole hog. We'll get the Brutal Reckoning deck, which can do a ton of damage. We've got 3 here. It's going to be another charge. I think we're almost on autopilot with some of these plays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, do want to remember the Frozen Light. I might use that to help to do charge work. So let's just keep that kind of front of mind and continue on to Takran's turn. All right, we got the Parallel Self, which is going to do 5, 6, 7 damage. Only 1 target now. All right, let's get a Douse here, Aether Ripple, and a Spark. I'm gonna... Wow. It's a lot. I'm going to discard this to gain a charge, which is going to give a charge to Zaxos. And Magda is going again before Zaxos. I do want to get these and try and get rid of more fire tokens, so I'll spend 4 there, and then I'll go ahead and conjure. That'll move me through my deck faster. It's an irradiated jewel, but I'll go ahead and conjure it. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nemesis coming. Yes. All right, here we go. Corrupted Brand. Unleash twice or unleash any player destroys Breach. That's interesting. Destroying a Breach, not a big deal. I could even just get rid of this one. Really only need one of them going. I haven't rarely used both. So yeah, I'm just going to do that. I'll take that chance. Of course, if she gets knocked out, she's going to lose another Breach, but fewer minions in play, the more aggressive I can be towards just keeping dealing damage over here. So the Unleash effect is going to shuffle this up. And granted, it doesn't have to be this Breach. I could have Takran destroy one. Just feel like Yan usually has the fewest spells going out. I guess the advantage is these aren't even that necessarily that hard to open. 2, 3. All right, before I do have to decide before I flip this. All right, you know what? Just in case, I'll start with Takran. Destroying a Breach. Just 1 damage I'm losing. It's not a big deal. Everything stays where it is. And then we have the Rust Superior's Armor. Any player suffers 2 damage and discards a prepped spell. Okay, and that's got 8 health, 2 shields. So now, that was Nemesis. Nemesis again, which is going to be unleashed twice. I can't say I'm surprised. So any player suffers 2 damage and discards a prepped spell. That would have been a good reason not to lose the spark, but who knew? We did not know that was going to happen. So 2 damage here. Getting a little scary. I want to make sure somebody can absorb a big blow, but I don't know. But that was just the first one. That was the first unleash, which then brings out the wings. Any player gains a card from the supply and suffers damage. So, yeah, somebody else is... Wow. Somebody else is going to be taking probably 3 damage if I want to get a douse, or 2 damage if I just get one of those. Suddenly, things got nasty. So that was the first unleash. Second unleash is going to trigger both of these and get another one of these into play. Rough. So we're looking at a minimum of 4 damage. And now I kind of need a lot of damage out. I don't want to be getting rid of my good spells, so I hate to do it, but Yan is taking a damage. Get rid of the Eldritch Eye. And then somebody's going to gain a card but take damage. I think at this point, I just got to keep the damage minimal. So Zaxos will just gain one of these. And last but not least, Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Boy, I mean, for just a brief moment, we were flying, we were dealing damage to the boss, and now all of a sudden, double Nemesis turn, a whole bunch of unleashes, got a lot of things to deal with. All right, Yan, what do you got for us? Able to deal 2 damage. If I hang on to that, which I think I will, I can fire it off 3 times. So that's probably the way to go. So we're talking about... Problem with that is all of these damn shields. Alright, so... I gotta look over... yeah, maybe I should not have discarded this. That being the case, and again, this is nothing I didn't already know. In terms of, well, I guess I didn't know that this was going to show up. So yeah, I can't go back on it. All right, well, I'm gonna look through my hand, figure out what the rest of the turn might look like, and figure out the best way to go. All right, so here I think here's what I'm gonna do. While I would like to cast this 3 times, it just doesn't work out with this configuration. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cast the Parallel Self, dealing 5 damage here. I'll cast the Aether Ripple, dealing 2 damage to this guy, knocking him down to 4. Putting out some tokens. And now what I can do is I can prep the Spark here. And I'll be able to cast it 3 times using the ability. So now I've got 4, 5, 6 to spend. I think what I'll do is, I think I could spend 3. Well, no, I got 6, so I need to spend 4 to get charges. Is there any other way? Doesn't quite work. I could buy a Summoner's Horn, but it's got to be in the discard pile to get the charge. So, yeah, I really need to fire this off this turn. So I got to spend 4 to get the charges. I don't see... I guess the old... Okay, I take it back. There is a way to do it, and it's pretty good, which is... I cast that Spark with a Shifter's Cloak. So if I spend 3, then I get the Shifter's Cloak in the hand. I cast that, get a charge. Then I can gain another charge. And I get to focus a breach. The alternative is I just spend 6 and I rotate around charges. Focusing breaches is a good thing. So yeah, let's do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to spend. The alternative is I can also deal 2 damage. So I could just charge up and deal 2 damage. But really, having more of these is not a bad thing. Especially the +1 damage, I will be able to take this out. So, yeah, let's do that. Because we don't know who's going first. So, opportunity. So, let's just say 1, 2, 3. Spent to get a Shifter's Cloak. Because of the crystal, it goes into my hand. Focus any player's breach. We'll focus that one. And then I'm going to go ahead and cast. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, play the Shifter's Cloak I just bought to cast Spark, which is going to get me a charge. And it's also going to get a charge for Xaxos. It's going to do 2 damage, so we'll do the 2 damage here. Then I can spend... So yeah, that cost me 3 to buy that. Then I can spend 2 to get another charge. So I'll have 1 left over. That's fine. Then I can spend all this to cast this 3 times. And remember, in this Spark, everyone is a separate dealing of damage, right? So deal 1 damage, deal 1 damage. So we did this to help get through shields. So on the first casting, do 1 damage, do 1 damage. On the second casting, do 1 damage, do 1 damage. And on the third casting, I get to take this out. So that's dead. Player damage is bad, so I'm going to go ahead and silence this. Just going to burn the other token. This is cast 3 times. Unfortunately, I don't have the 2 left to do another damage, but this is reset. So I'm going to have to... But I don't have any charges anyway at this point. So... Okay. That was like about as much as I could have done. The only other thing, right, is I've got... You know what? I've got this Frozen Light. So I'm actually just going to slightly backtrack it. Because I can kind of maximize the way I do things. I will spend the Frozen Light during Jan Magda's turn, so that 2 I actually spent to get that last charge, I could instead spend to activate the Parallel Self, dealing an additional 2 damage, which will be to this guy. Okay, so there we go. Shuffling up. Getting ready for the next round, round 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's kick things off with Xaxos, who should be able, let's see, 8 damage, which actually 9 damage, divided among minions. Yeah, we have to do that. Much as I'd like to keep pounding the boss, we do have to keep on top of these things. Yeah, I probably should have silenced the other way around. But you know what? So I'll do 10. I'll just do all 9 here. Cosmic Reckoning and a Spark. We'll actually put the Cosmic Reckoning here in case I need to fire it off at a shield. I've got 3 left. I'll just get a charge. One, two, three, four, 5. Next up. Alright, Tacrin. Good. So, that's going to be 2 damage to the Crest of Bone. It's going to produce... We are into the 3s now, so we're going to get 3 Aether for that. We're going to get Aether tokens for our allies. And this guy's dead. And now we got a Douse that is capable of dealing 6 damage, which, yeah, even though this guy's silenced, let's just take him out. Get rid of another fire token. Alright. Dealing more damage is the main thing at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I could fire this off. Certainly Summoner's Horn being able to prep a spell. I mean, he's got the big ones, right? So let's go ahead and just... That seems to make the most sense. Summoner's Horn's that. Summoner Horn that. I got 7 to spend. Part of me is thinking I should just keep going for the Douses. But I think a larger part of me is thinking if I fire this off, I can open that. I can get these, which will get me an extra 2. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to spend 6. Get 3 charges. I'm going to spend all those charges. So I get to fire this off 3 times. The first time is going to be to open this breach. Doing that is going to get me 2 more of these tokens from the Warding Stone. So I've still got 3 to spend. And I've got 2 more of these. So let's just get Yan set up. Unless there's a spell I want to get in play. Yeah, wouldn't hurt to get this in. Remember, this can hold 2, so we'll just focus that once. So focus, prep spell. Summoner's Horn was the one that prepped that. With the 3, I'll just spend 2 of them to buy another charge. And yeah, we are using abilities a lot more this time, but I feel like it's necessary. I like the way we've been able to build things up. It's going to do it for Tacrin. Just again looking around to see if anybody's got anything in hand. No, but we do have this relic here that we don't want to forget about. There's also one over here. No, that's gone. Okay. Nemesis now, so I have something to target, maybe? No, it's a wild, unfortunately. Well, Zaxos has a target. It's just not going to be Nemesis. And Tacrin gained a charge, which means Zaxos gains a charge from this. Okay. We want this to be the first spell we cast. Any ally draws 4 cards and preps any number of spells in hand to their open or closed breaches. We do know Yan is still going this round. 1, 2, 3, 4. And does have some good stuff coming. Not to mention I'm going to be able to fire off a bunch of charges. Yeah, so I'm going to have it be Yan. So we're going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4. Preps any number of spells. So 1, 2. I guess the downside is they're going to have to cast this. So that didn't quite work out the way I was thinking. But, you know, we'll just keep pouring damage out. It's okay. I guess I don't have to prep this. I'll hold on to this one. Although if it's cast in the Summoner's Cloak, let's do it that way. Okay. So that was just the first of many spells. Now we're going to deal 11 damage over here, down to 47. You know what? I'm just going to deal 8 damage. I could do the charges thing, do the order. I guess the advantage of that is I could avoid double nemesis. But Yan's not even dealing that. Yan could be dealing a lot of damage. So you know what? Alright. I am going to do the 4 charges. I'm going to give them over to Yan. And then I'm going to be able to look at the turn order deck. So it's exactly the way I wanted it. But, okay. But at least we have the knowledge of knowing. Still not done casting. This will come out for 1 more damage. Again, this is Essence Leeches. Incredible. While prepped, when an ally gains a charge first time on the turn, gain a charge. Yeah, there's no reason to take that off. Alright, I have not spent all these, but I have 6 charges, so yeah, we can get a Reckoning card from a discard pile back to my hand. So let's do the 4 charges for 8 damage. Give us the most options. Then I have just enough to gain 2 charges, because that's the special crystal. Alternatively, sure, why not? I'm going to gain a douse. Oh, I can't. I have 3 to spend, so alright. 2 charges it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brings us over to the Nemesis. What you got for us? Soul Sculpt. Discard, spend 9, power 2, unleash twice. Interesting. Next up is going over here. Alright, so before we move on, I just did a count, and I actually did miss one of the Nemesis draws. So before I kind of move forward any further, I'm just going to go ahead and draw an extra card now. It would happen before this, so I'm not going to pull a token off. This should have happened a few turns ago. But let's go ahead. Essence Integration. If there are 3 or more fragments in play, resolve the unleash effects of all minions in play. Otherwise, draw 2 cards. So we're just going to put 2 fragments into play. I just think that's the fairest way to do things, to make sure that we're dealing with as many things as we're supposed to. So that's that. And now we can go ahead and take Yan's turn. So, for Yan's turn, well, now suddenly I have things to deal with. Alright, so I know my plan was to get this out, cast it 3 times. Alright. I'm going to presume I need this spark for something. I'll go ahead and cast it. Yeah, let's get rid of this guy. Make sure we do that quickly. Actually do it over here. So we got other ways of dealing with that. Alright, so first and foremost, let's play a Shifter's Cloak to spin that, and we will fire off an Aether Ripple that just deals 2 damage, so we're not wasting anything. That's going to throw a token here and a token here, although no, actually, Aether Ripple would deal 1 extra. So, doesn't really matter. However it works, I'm going to be doing some overkill. So with that Shifter's Cloak, that is going to deal 3 damage. So knocking this guy down to 9. And throwing some tokens out. Oh, actually, that Aether Ripple deals an additional 2 damage, so that actually works out. Okay, so that actually dealt 5 damage, knocking him from 12 down to 7. No problem. That was the Shifter's Cloak. We have another Shifter's Cloak, and at this point, everybody else is open, so I'll just go ahead and open this one. Actually, I'm going to hold off on the other Shifter's Cloak. I think 2 to get a charge, 2 to spend that. Yeah. So I'm going to spend 2 to open this breach. All right. So that's spent. I've not used the Shifter's Cloak yet, so I don't forget. I'm also going to spend 2 to get another charge. So then what I can do is I'll parallel self here, and I will spend all 5 charges. I'm going to cast parallel self 3 times. So also I opened a breach, so I get to deal 2 damage, so that's going to be here. So now the parallel self is going to fire off, and I'm going to do 5 damage to here. And I'm not going to waste my time with this. I can afford to lose plenty of supply piles. Honestly, if I didn't buy another card, I'd be okay. Just mentally tell myself, keep the low supplies files in case that other minion comes out. The other fragment. So the first 5 goes to here. The next 5 goes to the boss. The third 5 goes to the boss. So we are knocking Mist down to 36. With that, then and that's going to close this breach. Then I'll use the second Shifter's Cloak, get that a little bit closer to open, and at this point I'll just fire off an Aether Ripple for 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. Again, just doing it to Mist, down to 36. That's going to dole out a couple more of these tokens. Crazy. Then finally, we will use the Starglass to conjure. All right, whatever. And then that's going to do it for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I wasn't going to be able to get rid of this. Takran's the one who's going to have a shot at it. So now it is the Nemesis turn. Right, I did the extra draw. Yep, okay. To the Nemesis turn. This by itself doesn't do anything. This removes a power token. Now we draw. Endless Amethyst. To discard, destroy 2 open breaches or spend 12, unleash twice. Well, that is nasty. We're in the end game now. In fact, there are 5 cards left in the deck. I would like to win by blasting her to oblivion, though, so let's see if we can pull that off. It's the end of that, but sure would be nice if Zaxos could go now. Yeah. And to be able to just turn order things with the Nocturnal. It would also work if Yan Magda goes, because then she could cast it, and that would allow me to set myself up. Alright, I feel like this is going to be a very important die roll. Could not have missed it worse. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a Nemesis. Oh, gotta make it hard for me. Alright, so this comes off. Unleash twice. Remember, I shouldn't have... Alright, destroy supply pile. If you can't, the players lose the game. So we're definitely not getting any more We'll start with backfire. Oh, we're definitely not getting any more of these. We'll start there. So that's gone. I mean, this is going to happen multiple times. That's the first unleash. Then the second unleash is going to do it again. So now we'll get rid of backfire. Then the chains of myth. Gain 3 life. We don't like that. And a fire token. Yeah, this is not good. So the second unleash is going to bring one of these out. God, I haven't even drawn a card yet. Yeah, this is not good. One, 2, and 8. That's not, not killing that hasn't hurt me yet. It just seems bad, but like this was all bad anyway. All the stuff that was going to happen, that had nothing to do with whether or not I killed that. That was the first power card that we just dealt with. This one. Now we pull one off here. Then we draw. Unleash. Resolve the unleash effect for the oldest fragment and play twice. Yikes. Alright, so this is basically going to happen 3 times than these. So I'm just going to... here. 4, 6, 5. We'll just get rid of all of those. Okay. This one, missed. Revealed, gains 3 life. Add a fire token. So close. Any player suffers 2 damage and discards a prepped spell. It's going to have to be over here. This is the least impressive spell right now, as good as it is. Two damage. Although I might need those tokens to get back. I think maybe I got to do this instead. Hang on to the Essence Leech. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That actually gives me a chance to take that out, though. So you know what? I do got to hold on to this. Get rid of that. Okay. And then I have to draw a fragment. Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Speaking of, we could use your help right about now. All right, Jan Magda, and not even one who has a silence token. So I gotta stop down a moment and figure out what I can make happen here. All right, we are on a knife's edge now, but there is a way through potentially. And it starts here with Jan Magda's turn. We are going to keep this here. We will cast this. We're going to take out one of these shields. And I've spent a lot of time working this out off camera. We'll see how it plays out. I'm going to spend 3 to get a Shifter's Cloak. Okay. Then I'm going to use a Shifter's Cloak to cast the Nocturnal Reckoning. Allies, and I'm going to use the first ability. Allies collectively gain 4 charges. Those charges are going to go over here. Okay. then I get to reveal the turn order deck and put it back in any order. And that does do 1 damage, which will take out the other shield. Alright, so the key here is I need Takrin to go first. Sorry, Takrin to go first. Then Zaxos. No, I actually need Zaxos. Dang it, I need Zaxos to go last. Maybe. I wanted to set the turn up for the next round. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do that, so hold on. Okay, yeah, I think I can make this work by having Takrin take 2 turns, then the Nemesis, then finish off the round with Zaxos. I mean, I am going to have a thing to deal with. It's 1 less silence that I'm going to be able to play, but... Alright, let's try it this way. So that's the turn order as I'm going to set it. So we are still on Jan Magda's turn. We're going to use another Shifter's Cloak. We're going to go ahead and... first Shifter's Cloak is going to focus this. The second cast of Shifter's Cloak is going to open this, which is going to allow me to do 2 damage to this guy. Then I am going to cast the Aether Ripple, which critically is going to let me put a token over here and 1 over here. And again, that's going to be 2, 3, 4 damage, knocking this guy down to 2. Alright. Yeah, I feel like I'm just a little bit short where I need to be, but I'll go ahead and prep this here. So many Shifter's Cloaks. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, that does it for that. Now we have the first of 2 turns for Takrin. Alright, so first 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so I actually do have to... I have to burn this. Gravehold's going to take 3 damage, but maybe that helps. So that's actually not a bad thing at this point. So yeah, we know it's a player card. So this thing is burned, overheated, destroyed. Gravehold suffers 3 damage. Let's see. That's knocking Gravehold down to 14. Really need some help here. What do you got for us? Inscribe. The players collectively gain 2 charges. Really? That's your help. I mean, it's not terrible, but I was hoping for a little bit more. So, all right, hold on a sec. Yeah, I'll give the 2 charges over here. It sets me up with the most options for Zaxos to be able to do stuff, and I'm going to be playing his 4-charge thing again, most likely, so I can set the turn order. All right, well, I was hoping for more from you, but that's what we get. All right, but I did produce 12, so critically, I'm able to get rid of this before that thing blows up and obliterates us. I do have the Summoner's Horn. Any player may prep a spell in their discard pile to their open or closed breaches. So that is going to be the Nocturnal Reckoning, which is going to allow Zaxos, who's going last, to set the turn order for the next turn, as long as we can just make it through that 1 turn. Don't have any, can't get a charge or anything, but I do have a full complement of charges, so let's talk about that. Let's go ahead and get this spark down, and we can set some stuff up over here. Yeah, we're going to be in a position to do parallel self 3 times, so let's prep this, and then we'll just rotate that. Be nice if we had more spells to get out. but we don't. All right, spent all this. That is going to do it for Takran's turn. First of two, which is important, because hopefully we can do something a little more. I don't even know if we'll be able to take that out, actually. We may just have to eat a lot of stuff. If an Unleash comes up, maybe we'll get lucky to be a power card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So now we know Takran is going to go again. Yeah. Sucked that I didn't have any spells in hand, but can't really do anything for it. Prep a couple things. We got 3. That's just going to buy us a charge, which ain't much. Yeah, that didn't do much of anything for us. Actually, just 2 for 1 charge, and I can discard a card to also gain a charge. I have 2 of those in my discard pile. Alright, so whatever. We gain 2 charges. Don't have anything else I can spend. It'd be nice if I could, I had one of those 6 clusters spend 2 damage, but I don't. So we're just going to have to see if we're able to weather the storm. I will silence something. I think we're perilously close to dying from this. So if somebody has to take 2 damage and a prep spell, it can be Takran. Alright, Nemesis. Unleash twice, sucks. Or unleash any player suffers 5 damage, that sucks. Or unleash, add 3 fire tokens. Yep, we're going to do that. It's the least bad thing. Still pretty bad. But first unleash is going to get rid of that. Myth is going to gain 3 life, and it's going to add a fire token, bringing us up to 8. Any player suffers 2 damage, loses a prep spell. And then Gravehold suffers 3 damage, which is not quite enough to get us the next help from Gianna. I think I might have been expecting a little bit too much from those. And then we'll get another one of these into play, and yeah, if we don't take some of this stuff out, we lose. Okay. Last but not least, Zaxos. So, first and foremost, cast this, 2 damage, take this out. So, we're slightly alive. I do gain a charge for that. More importantly, the Nocturnal Reckoning, which is going to deal 1 damage, so... fire tokens are our biggest enemy right now. I'm not going to have time to take that out. I'm going to have to find a way to win this game. 4 charges, and get to set the turn order deck, which is pretty pivotal. 4 charges are going over here, so that I can dole out a lot of damage. Turn order deck, I'm going to be able to set whatever I want for the next round. I'll do that off camera. I'm going to take some time to think about that over here. Okay, so yeah, I definitely need this charge, so spend 2 there to get the charges, and I'm going to go ahead and spend all those charges. I'll get the Nocturnal Reckoning back and prep it. I'm going to use this, which I already did, to conjure. So, and that was unfortunately my Frozen Light, but so that's that. That leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think I'm just going to get 2 charges at this point. Okay. Actually, this can go here instead of that. There we go. All right, so that's it for Zaxos. But before I draw my hand, I would have to decide my turn order. So at this point, the question is, can I take out the boss 41 damage before the Nemesis goes again. Jan Magda getting the double turn. Unfortunately, all of Takran's spells are in his hand. The 1. Time to do some math. Yeah, at this point, I'm just going to go for it. So I'm going to have Takran go first, followed by Zaxos, and then polish things off, hopefully with Jan Magda. So, we have set the turn order as a result of when we cast that at the beginning of the turn. So let's get into it, starting with draw our hand. Starting with Takran, who will go ahead and cast the Parallel Self for it's actually going to deal 8 damage. That's all going on to the boss from 41 to 33. All right, then we can Douse, and an Aether Ripple, and a Spark, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I will recall to do 2 more damage down to 31. The other 2 doesn't matter, but we'll get a charge. So that's it. Takran, your work here is finished. Next up is going to be Zaxos, who fire this bad boy off. The Nocturnal Reckoning, we'll do the second option. Just going to deal 8 plus 1 is 9 damage, getting us down to 22. We'll throw off this for another 3 damage, down to 19. Because why not? Let's get our Brutal Reckoning, a Cosmic Reckoning, a Spark, and 1 more of these. And just because we can, we will put you on the Chains of Myth. No more fire tokens. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next up is Jan Magda. I don't think I need another turn. Let's just go for it. We're going to deal 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. Down to 15. I'm going to prep the Parallel Self to my 3 breach. Use my Star Glass to get a charge. I could even Shifter's Cloak to do some damage. Sure, why not? Shifter's Cloak is going to cast the Brutal Reckoning, which is going to do 11 damage to the Nemesis, knocking you down to 4. And then it's overkill, but I will cast the Parallel Self 3 times for 15 more damage. So that will do it here twice. I guess we could have done 1 extra damage, split it out. Doesn't matter, whatever. Overkill to the boss by 1. We have defeated Myth. Or not Myth. Whatever her name is. Mist. Mist. Yeah, that was... and then I would have had another turn to do not much more at that point. Oh, actually, Shifter's Cloak, I could have... I didn't even need to... That was overkill, casting that. I had enough 15 to do that, so I could douse, get rid of a fire token. So we actually... Yeah, that was what I had originally planned out. So... Alright, so yeah, instead of casting this, forget the 9 damage, but this was at 15. I cast this 3 times. That's 15 damage. So, yeah. Well, that was cool. That was very tense. 3 cards left. Unleash twice or unleash any player destroys 5 cards in hand. That certainly would have been bad. Power card, unleash twice to discard 5 cards in hand. That's no problem. At the point of no return, when a power token is removed from this, unleash twice and skip the Nemesis draw phase this turn. This card cannot... So that's pretty cool. Like you cannot, if you want to run it out, not that easy because you got this card in play that you got to deal with. It has to stay there, and it's just a countdown clock until the end of the game. So you were going to have to kill. I like that actually. That at the end of the game, you were going to have to kill Mist. You couldn't just take, even if you took out everything, this card stays in play until it goes away and ends the game. But we did not have to get that there. Managed to do it out. A lot of finagling to make it work in the end. So there you go. I'm assuming that's the end of the campaign. I may at some point. I think I'm probably done for a while. There's other games I want to play. I do want to check out the. I think there's one or two other nemesis that I didn't get to take a look at. It might be interesting to play the game from the other play the final battle again just for the fun of it from the other perspective using all of the best of Gravehold. So I may try that at some point. But there you go. I think I will do a follow-up video, just a review, and that's I'll do like a non-spoiler section and a spoiler and kind of just talk about some stuff, kind of looking back on it. But that's it for now. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time.